Hey guys, it's Mr. Davis. In this video, we're going to talk about solving equations involving exponents. Two big hints here. Big hint number one, exponents are just a type of operation, kind of like addition or subtraction or division. Don't be scared of them. There's nothing fancy about exponents. And of course, big hint number two is we want to remember all of our solutions, all the solutions, because sometimes when we take a root, we end up getting more than one answer. And I'll point that out as we go through the problems. Let's get started. All right, here's our first problem. Let's practice saying this out loud. This says x to the power of 2 equals 16. One more time. X to the power of 2 equals 16. Go ahead and hit pause and see if you can solve this problem. Hit play when you're ready to check your answer. Alright, so x to the power of 2. What is the opposite of a power? That would be a root. Root is the inverse of power, and power is the inverse of root. More specifically, though, what is the inverse of the second power? Well, that would be a second root. So I'll take a second root on both sides. This goes away, giving me x equals the second root of 16. I'm going to go ahead and simplify this by hand. You're welcome to use a calculator. So let's see, what comes out of 16? How about a 2 and an 8? And then 8 can break up into 2 and 4. And 4 can break up into 2 and 2. And now I've got my prime factors. Because this is a second root, I'm going to make groups of 2 matching numbers. There we go. And for each of those matching numbers, one of them comes out. So I've got a 2, and I've got times another 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So my answer is x equals 4. But wait. I know that 2 times 2 equals 4. Look, guys, negative 2 times negative 2 also equals 4. That's right, because this is an even root, because I'm performing an even root, I'm going to get more than one answer. I'm going to get a positive and a negative version. So x equals plus or minus 4. Two answers to this problem. Okay, so let's start by reading this out loud. It says x to the power of 3 equals 8. If you can solve this problem, great. Go ahead and hit pause and try it. When you're ready to check your answer, hit play. So the opposite of a power is a root, so I need to take a root on both sides. More specifically, though, I've got the third power, so I'm going to take a third root. Those go away, and I get x equals the third root of 8. So let's go ahead and break my 8 up into prime factors. And look at that. 3 matching 2's. So the third root of 8 is going to be 2. X equals 2 is my answer. But is there a positive and a negative version of this answer? Well, for a shortcut, I can see that no, there's not, because that's an odd root. Odd roots have one solution. But if you want to double check, you can. There's my positive 2 times positive 2 times positive 2, and that gives me positive 8, just like what was inside my root symbol. But if I take negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2, negative 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 2 is... Sorry, guys, that's a positive 4. Positive 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. So you can see that third roots and fifth roots and seventh roots, all of my odd roots, only give me one answer that works, because negative 8 is not the same as positive 8. All right, x to the power of 4 equals 81. Try it. Hit play when you're ready to check your answer. Okay, the opposite of a power is a root, so I'll take a root on both sides. I'm going to take the fourth root to get rid of that fourth power, which is easy to do. So x equals the fourth root of 81. I know 81 is 9 and 9, but I'm not looking for 2 matching numbers, I'm looking for 4. Fortunately, I know that both of my 9s break up into 3's, 3 and 3, and there's 4 matching numbers. x equals 4. Because this is an even number, I know I've got a positive and a negative version, so x equals plus or minus 4. X to the 5th power equals 32. Go ahead and pause. Hit play when you're ready to check your answer. Well, let's see. The opposite of a power is a root. I'm going to take the 5th root. That goes away. X equals the 5th root of 32. And let's break this up. 2 and 16. 2 and 8. 2 and 4. 2 and 2. And look at that. 5 2's. So x equals 2. More than one answer? Nope. I took an odd root. Odd roots have one answer. X to the power of 2 plus 5 equals 30. A little bit more complicated. Hit pause, and then hit play when you're ready to check your answer. Alright guys, let's see here. Two operations going on here. I've got a power, and I've got plus, or addition. Which is more simple? Adding or taking a power? Well, adding, right? We always get rid of the most simple operation. So plus 5 is more simple, so we're going to get rid of it by doing the inverse, which is minus 5 on both sides. That goes away, giving me x to the power of 2 equals 25. What's the opposite of the second power? Well, that's going to be the second root. That goes away. X equals the second root of 25, which, let's see, 5 and 5. So x equals 5, but because I took an even root, I get two answers. I get the positive and the negative. So x equals plus or minus 5. Can you try this one? Hit play when you're ready to check your answer. One more time, I got two operations. I've got a power, and this time I've got a minus. I'm going to get rid of the most simple one, which is minus. The opposite of minus 4 is plus 4. So I'm going to do plus 4 on both sides. That goes away. X to the power of 3 equals 125. What's the opposite of the power of 3? Well, that would be the third root. Take the third root on both sides. That goes away. X equals the third root of 125. Well, I know any number that ends with the 5, 5 goes into it. So I'll divide both sides by 5 there and get 5 and 25. And 25 is 5 and 5. And look at that. 3 matching numbers as required. X equals 5. Because the third root is an odd root, I know there's only one answer, and that's it. Let's keep going. Alright, a little bit more complicated, but remember, the idea is the same. The only extra step is that root that we have to take at the very end. Let's do it. This problem says two groups of 3x to the power of 2 plus 5 equals 64. So distribute, oops, sorry, wrong thing there. Distribute my times 2. 2 times 3x to the power of 2 is 6x to the power of 2. 2 times 5 is 10. And that equals 64. So now I've got three operations. I've got times 6, power 2, plus 10. Times 6, power of 2, plus 10. Which is the most simple of those? Well, plus 10. The inverse of plus 10 is minus 10 on both sides. And I got 6x to the power of 2 equals 54. Well, two operations going on with my x. Times 6, power of 2. Again, that's times 6 and power of 2, which is more simple. The times 6. The inverse of times 6 is divide by 6, giving me x to the power of 2 equals 9. Let's give myself some space. Now all that's left is my power of 2. The inverse of a power is a root. The inverse of the second power, specifically, is the second root. That goes away. X equals the second root of 9. I know that 9 breaks up into 3's, so x equals 3. But because I took an even root, I get two answers, a positive and a negative. So x is plus or minus 3. Good job, guys.